Picture this. A family gathering turns into a full-blown brawl over a single piece of pie. Can't imagine it. Well, you're in for a treat. Yes, you heard it right. We are about to delve into the realm of outrageous family fights that got so heated, they ended up in court. Head-shaking tales that will make your most awkward Thanksgiving dinner seem like a serene tea party. Are you ready to dive into the world of family feuds and courtrooms? Buckle up. Let's travel back in time to the year 1845 in a small town in England. Picture this. It's a time of horse-drawn carriages, gas-lit streets, and the Victorian era in full swing. But behind the ornate facades and stiff upper lips, there's a family feud brewing that's so outrageous, it lands in court. In the heart of this quaint little town lived the Browns, a seemingly ordinary family with an extraordinary problem. The patriarch, George Brown, was a prosperous baker known for his scrumptious scones and delightful donuts. But it wasn't his baking that made him infamous. Oh no, it was the feud with his brother Robert, a feud that started over something as mundane as a recipe for apple pie. Yes, you heard it right. It all began when Robert claimed that George had stolen his secret apple pie recipe, the very one that had won him the county fair's Best Apple Pie Award 3 years running. George, of course, denied the accusations, and the brothers' spat escalated into a full-blown family feud. Before you could say pass the custard, the whole town was embroiled in the drama. Sides were chosen, the Browns were divided, and the once peaceful town was now the stage for a culinary conflict of epic proportions. The feud got so heated that it eventually ended up in court. The case, known as Brown versus Brown, was the talk of the town. The courtroom was packed to the rafters as everyone eagerly awaited the verdict. After weeks of testimonies, pie-tasting sessions, and heated debates, the judge finally ruled in favor of Robert. George was ordered to cease using the disputed recipe, pay damages to Robert, and issue a public apology. What a story, right? A family feud over an apple pie recipe ending in a courtroom showdown. It's hard to believe, but this was indeed the first recorded case of a family feud that ended up in court. What a way to kick off our journey, wouldn't you agree? Now let's move forward in time to a case that you might find hard to believe. In the early 90s, in the quaint town of Bumblebee, Oregon, a family feud escalated to a level that can only be described as baffling. The Johnson family, known for their eccentricities, found themselves in the midst of a legal battle that left the townsfolk scratching their heads in disbelief. The dispute centered around a pet parrot, affectionately named Polly. The Johnson patriarch, Old Man Johnson, was known throughout the town for his deep attachment to Polly. When he passed away, he left behind a rather unusual will, stating that the rightful heir to his substantial fortune would be the family member who could teach Polly to sing the entirety of Bohemian Rhapsody, the iconic song by the rock band Queen. You might think this is a joke, but the Johnsons took this task quite seriously. The family members each took turns to train the parrot. For weeks, the Johnson residence echoed with the sounds of Bohemian Rhapsody, but Polly, it seemed, was not a fan of rock music. Frustration grew, tempers flared, and the Johnsons found themselves in court, each claiming that they had fulfilled the conditions of the will. The case was a spectacle, with the judge having to listen to multiple renditions of Bohemian Rhapsody by a parrot in order to determine who had indeed taught Polly the song. In the end, the judge, possibly driven to the brink of insanity by the endless repetitions of the song, ruled that none of the Johnsons had successfully taught Polly the song, and thus the fortune was to be donated to a local charity. This decision was met with outrage by the Johnson family, but relief by the townsfolk who had grown tired of the constant squabbles. Yes, you heard it right, that actually happened. The Johnson family feud over a parrot and a rock song is a testament to the lengths that family disagreements can reach when a substantial fortune is at stake. Fast forward to the present day, family feuds haven't lost their spice. Today we're stepping into the peculiar world of a recent family feud that took an unexpected turn, landing the family in a courtroom. This bizarre tale unraveled in the heart of 2023, in the bustling city of New York. This feud was not about a family business or an inheritance dispute, but about something as ordinary as a pet parrot named Percy. Yes, you heard that right, a parrot. The Johnson family, a seemingly average American family, found themselves embroiled in a legal battle over Percy, their beloved pet. Percy was no ordinary parrot, though. This feathered friend had the knack for mimicking voices. a talent that became the bone of contention. The feud ignited when Percy started mimicking the voice of the family's late matriarch, much to the discomfort of some family members. The disagreement escalated rapidly, with one faction claiming Percy's talent was a comforting reminder of their beloved, while the other side found it distressing. Unable to settle the dispute amicably, the family took the matter to court, seeking a decision on who should have custody of Percy. The courtroom was abuzz with disbelief and amusement as the case unfolded. The judge, faced with the unusual task of deciding the fate of a parrot, carefully deliberated over the case. The court's final verdict was as unexpected as the feud itself. The judge ruled that Percy would stay with the family, but with a strict condition. Percy would have to undergo voice training to stop mimicking the late matriarch's voice. This peculiar tale of a family feud gives us a unique insight into the lengths people will go to maintain peace and harmony in their lives. It also underscores the role courts sometimes have to play in resolving even the most unusual family disputes. Just goes to show family drama is timeless. And now for the grand finale, the most outrageous family feud case to ever have graced a courtroom. Picture this, a high-stakes family feud that spiraled out of control, landing in the courtrooms of sunny California in the late 80s. The protagonists of our story are none other than the infamous de Cavalcante family, a household name synonymous with eccentricity and extravagance. At the heart of this outrageous feud was a dispute over the family's vast fortune, accumulated from years of successful ventures in the entertainment industry. The feud began when the patriarch of the family, the charismatic and flamboyant Angelo de Cavalcante, passed away, leaving behind a will that was as eccentric as the man himself. The will, scribbled on a napkin from his favorite Italian restaurant, divided the family fortune unevenly amongst his 5 children, with the youngest daughter, Isabella, receiving the lion's share. This, of course, didn't sit well with the rest of the de Cavalcante clan, and what followed was a whirlwind of accusations, lawsuits, and even an attempt to forge a new will. The court case that ensued became a spectacle of its own. Family secrets were aired out in public, including tales of hidden assets, secret marriages, and even a pet alligator named Tony, who, according to a cousin, was also a rightful heir. The media had a field day, and the de Cavalcante feud became the talk of the town. After months of legal wrangling, the judge ruled in favor of Isabella, upholding the validity of the napkin will. The saga, however, didn't end there. The disgruntled siblings continued to wage war against each other, albeit outside the courtroom, making the de Cavalcante family feud one of the most outrageous in legal history. And there you have it, family feuds that made it to court. Who needs soap operas when reality is this entertaining? From pie fights to inheritance battles, family feuds can get pretty messy. Indeed, we've journeyed through some of the most bizarre and mind-boggling family fights that have ended up in the courtroom. We began with the earliest case, where the bone of contention was a prized cow in the late 18th century, to the most recent one involving a heated battle over a coveted Twitter handle. Each story, steeped in its unique blend of incredulity and peculiarity, has given us a fascinating insight into the lengths to which familial disputes can stretch. We've seen how the simplest of disagreements can spiral into monumental battles, and how the most personal of relationships can transform into public spectacles. From the outrageous case of siblings squabbling over a lottery ticket, to the shocking tale of a family feuding over a harmless garden gnome, these stories have certainly left us scratching our heads in disbelief. What makes these stories particularly intriguing is the outrageousness of the cases. Who would have thought that a pie fight could escalate to a court case, or that a family could go to war over an innocuous pet parrot? Yet, amidst the absurdity and the drama, a crucial lesson emerges. It's a reminder that while family bonds are strong, they can also be fragile. So let's try to resolve our differences amicably without resorting to the courtroom. Remember, family is forever, but so is the internet. Until next time, stay out of court and keep it civil.